What's going on, guys? Hey, it's Rome Leggett back again with another video. Yes, I'm back again and have a unique video that I wanted to share with you guys. We're always talking about versatile fragrances. What does that mean? To me, that means a fragrance that you can wear anytime, anywhere, any weather, and any occasion. And I think that I have some really unique ones that you probably don't have in your collection. And I wanted to share with you. I wanted to share with you some amazing fragrances. That's what I do. Luxury fragrances, niche fragrances, hard to find fragrances, and of course those fragrances that's going to cause conversation. So if you want to dive into fragrances that no matter what occasion, no matter what weather, no matter what time, these fragrances right here, they're going to work. So if you're ready for another epic fragrance video, sit back, relax, get some popcorn. It's about to go down. All right, so let me get comfortable here because this is, hopefully it's not gonna be a super long video, but we're gonna get right into it. So like I said, this is what I consider fragrances that you can wear anywhere, anytime, any occasion. And we're gonna start off with what I consider to be one of my favorite fragrance houses and a fragrance that most of you guys usually only wear in the summer, but Forest by Kajal Perfumes. This one right here, I kind of did the same thing. I fell into that trap where I said, oh, lavender, citrus, you know, little floral notes. This is definitely gonna be a great summer, spring fragrance, right? That's what I thought. Now, I was totally wrong. This thing, it performed really well in the spring. Not so much in the summer, it was okay. But in the fall, winter, and spring, everything kind of changed. More for me, the lavender, spring and summer. But when it came to the winter, well, the fall and winter, the base notes in this fragrance is what really drew me to it. The spicy nutmeg and clove with a woody texture really caught my attention. For me, I was thinking about something that I can wear to work, something I can wear to maybe a brunch, and also something I can wear that is what I would consider safe if I wanted to go on a date, especially with my wife. She, you guys know, isn't too fond of everything I wear, but she likes lavender-based fragrances. So I think, no, I don't think, I know that this fragrance right here is one of the more safer, versatile fragrances. Yes, this will work summer, spring, winter, or fall, no matter what. If you like a fragrance that starts off with those citrus notes and have lavender in the opening, but plays around with the darker, spicy notes, this is one. But I also got a little secret, a little hidden gem that you can layer with this that'll make it smell even better. If you layer Forest with Kajal Om, just 2 sprays of this on top of this, you have a whole nother fragrance. Tonka bean based fragrance mixed with a fresh citrus, woody, aromatic fragrance. Yeah, fantastic. Trust me, these two together are unmatched. Let's go check out the next one. So this next fragrance to me is from one of the most exclusive niche fragrance houses in the entire world. And they come out with some of the most extraordinary fragrances I've ever come across. And that fragrance house I'm talking about is Mentally Rosa. And this is Mauna. I hope I'm saying that right. This is their newest fragrance release, and it's supposed to kind of represent a lily pad in the lake or close to a lake or the Bayou River or something like that, right? Or I would say any river. And looking at the notes, well, I would say looking at the bottle, you would probably categorize this as something that's going to be used for maybe the spring, right? And I'm here to tell you another very unique fragrance that the note breakdown, opening spicy, resonance, very aromatic, right? Ginger, black pepper, olibanum. Those are very heavy, spicy kind of notes, right? Especially ginger and black pepper. But don't let that confuse you or steer you away. Especially my guys, don't let the lily pad like throw you off. This to me has one of the more subtle, softer spices that I like to wear primarily when it's a little bit warmer. But most people will wear spicy aromatic fragrances in the fall and winter. This fragrance is so unique. It didn't even start off peppery or aromatic to me. It actually started off with a little bit of a white musk powdery vibe and a hint of freshness. Now, I might equate that freshness to the ginger. It does have a citrus kind of warm spice to it, but the contrast between this musk velvet note and those spices, to me, not to mention the resinous notes in this, just every layer has a time and a place to me. I think the musk and the ginger, especially this white musk, works perfect in the spring and the summer. This is very airy, powdery to me in the spring and summer, and slightly sweet. When you wear this in the fall and the winter, you definitely gonna get those spices. To me, this is a beautiful fragrance, and there's something about the notes that the weather makes every different note come alive at a certain time, which is super unique. Once again, guys, do not sleep on this. It is slightly powerful. It lasts a good 10 hours, but it is a unique fragrance and one of the most versatile fragrances I have in my collection. Go check it out. Go check out Minty Rose's whole line. Fantastic fragrances. Yeah. Oh, we got some more. Let's go check it out. Speaking of musk, you guys know that I'm really digging the attars, and I have this right here, this white musk attar from Vresiana. When I say, you can see right now, this is an oil. I have been rocking this nonstop. From the time I got it in December to right now where we're in the beginning of the spring going into the mid part of April. There's something about this clean musk that just smells like freshly dried laundry to me. Also smells like the ocean breeze. It also smells like ambergris to me, and someone threw a grenade of ambroxan at this bottle. I've been wearing it and enjoying every aspect of it. The freshness, the cleanness, the powderiness. This is such a hard fragrance oil to describe. But I'm gonna tell you, the one factor that made me say this is the most versatile fragrance, it doesn't make me uncomfortable in any weather. It has never made me subconscious wearing it to some important event or casual wearing. It just works and it performs. And even though this is leaning on the beast mode side, the trail that this fragrance leaves does not do anything but bring compliments to you. A beautiful oil, 2 drops of this is all you need. Go check it out. You can use my discount code for this, Rome20, for this or any fragrance you want off of Vresiana's website. But I'm gonna get more in depth into their oils because they have 3 right now. I got 1 more to get, but check this one out, guys. Yeah, you can thank me later. All right, so we've had this discussion before about Middle Eastern fragrances and Middle Eastern fragrance brands. And that discussion is, it is extremely hot in the Middle East, especially Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Iran. It's always hot there. And they wear a lot of incense, oud-based fragrances, more of those spicier fragrances. I started to think, why wouldn't a fragrance like Spirit of Dubai's Taraj be considered a super versatile fragrance? To me, I think it is absolutely that. Fruity, fresh in the opening. In the mid, you're gonna get a smoky incense hookah. In the dry down, a barrage of mixture of sandalwood, vanilla, all types of floral notes. It's just wild and fantastic. But for me, the 4 notes that really stand out to me and what I say, or I'll say this, why each note works in each weather condition. I'll break it down for you. The opening has a beautiful candy-like fruit note, especially the strawberry, and then it hits you with some dry fruits, right? So who doesn't like a fresh fruit opening and then a sweet nuance, right? I think that that's perfect for any type of spring or leading into the summer. You say that's not good enough for the summer? Okay, we have bergamot, we also have pineapple, and we have Granny Smith apple for the summertime. If you want something you want to wear on the beach, this is something I think will work. They have beaches in Dubai. They have beaches in Abu Dhabi. You get the smoky nuances from the hookah smell. You also get some spices like cinnamon and a barrage of Indian spices. But also, I think what will work well in the fall, coffee note in this. That's later on towards the mid to the dry down, but you definitely get that smoky nuance from the hookah and also a pinch of a coffee note, which is a great aroma that hits your nose right around that third hour. But if you said, okay, what about the winter, Rome? This is when I say they introduce one of the most alluring and beautiful smelling saffron notes. Spicy, warm, and then they open the door to one of the more sweeter, I would say oriental, but definitely has this animalistic tone when it comes to an oud note. It's not the player that you're going to really know in this fragrance, but all in all, this fragrance with all the different notes and all the layers, very versatile, very alluring, and what I consider to be a Swiss Army knife of a fragrance, especially from the Spirit of Dubai. Yeah, go check it out. Yeah, I got more. Let's move along. Now, the next fragrance I have here, this one I consider to be the fun fragrance. This is another fragrance that I say, yes, it's very Middle Eastern, but this is a playful fragrance. This is a fragrance I say that if you are the type of person who likes going out to dinner, lounges, if you like entertaining in the afternoon, evening, or night, this is the fragrance, and it doesn't matter what season. I think that for me, rooftop candlelight dinner, rooftop hanging out with your buddies, vacations, dazzling Dubai from Voyage is the fragrance to have. Oh man, it is so, I can't tell you how much I love this fragrance. I know that this is a small brand, a brand that a lot of people do not know about, but if you trust anything I'm saying, I don't care if it's 12 degrees below zero, this is going to perform. I don't care if it's 92 degrees, this is going to perform. Grapefruit, Egyptian balsam, and rose in the opening, candy fruits in the mid. Also, you have a beautiful vanilla, but the dry down of this has me coming back to it every single time. Now, I've only had this fragrance for about 6-7 months, right? But wearing it from the winter all the way now to right now, and it's been about 80 degrees right now, this thing is hitting every cylinder. When I say the foot is on the pedal when it comes to performance, longevity, and I'm talking about just projection, yeah, nothing is touching this. Nothing. And I want this thing to perform. When that heat comes off in that 80, 85, 90 degree, that resinous vibe, yes, it's coming down to the base, but you're also gonna get an amber and a musk. But that fruity, sweet, it's, bruh, everything about this is perfect. And I say any weather, any occasion, anytime, yeah, this will work. Go check it out. Yeah. Don't worry, I got some more. We're getting down to the top 5. Let's have some fun. Date night, date night, date night. What am I wearing on a date night? This is what I'm wearing on a date night. Nia. Yes, Nia is the fragrance that I'm rocking on a date night, no matter what weather. Now, why I say I'm gonna rock this on a date night, because it has one of the best date notes in the entire game. Point blank period. I've had this fragrance for a while. I'm definitely getting me another bottle, but how can I describe this better than I've described it before? Yes, I've said this fragrance is sexy. Yes, I've said this fragrance is probably top 10 in my entire collection. But what makes it that? Picture a bowl of dates. The syrupy, resinous juice that's dripping from the inside of that creamy dates falling onto a plum. Now, the plum is split open. It has the ripe, juicy freshness coming out of the plum. And now the dates, the plum, is now falling into caramel. You mix that up with a beautiful bouquet of some roses. And now you want to have a little spice, a little fun with this. You add a little bit of black pepper, but you want to bring it back a little bit when you want to have that tropical vibe still there. So you say, let me add a little bit of a pomegranate note. The dry down to me is fantastic, but trust me guys, if you wear this fragrance in the spring, the plum note and the rose is going to take over. If you want to wear this fragrance in the summer, that pomegranate note is going to take over. If you're wearing this fragrance in the fall, if you're trying to go on a date in the fall, the caramel note, game's over. Winter, this is where I say, to me, it's probably the best for me, but any of those you can rock. That date, caramel, plum note, mixed with a beautiful creamy vanilla, some spices, and then tonka bean in the dry down. The winter, bro, that's all she wrote. This is, to me, a bona fide masterpiece and one of the most versatile fragrances I have in my collection. That's all I'm gonna say. Go check it out. I'll put links down below where you can get this fragrance. Now the next fragrance, this could have been number one, should have been number one, but everybody and their mama has had this fragrance or talked about this fragrance already. But I couldn't leave it off the list. Morning Chest. Yes, Morning Chest is the way they mix the citrus notes with the birch and the leather. Of course, the citrus, spring, summer, right? Fresh, slightly soft, spicy, but it's beautiful, right? The pineapple kind of vibe in this is reminiscent of, yes, the Aventus, you know, and the 37,000 other fragrances that smell like Aventus. But the birch note and the leather note in this just makes me say, yes, fall, winter, I'm rocking this. If I want to go out, especially if I'm wearing a tuxedo or a suit, you cannot imagine how many times I've been rushed, bombarded wearing this fragrance with a nice suit in the fall and the winter. And every single time, doesn't matter, male or female, someone is like, that smells great. What is that you have on? I had one person literally grab my arm and sniff my arm when I had this on. I was like, okay, that's a little aggressive and a little inappropriate, but I get it. It's a fantastic fragrance. She bought it for her husband. It was weird. I think I told this story before. She smelled my arm, grabbed my arm and smelled it and said, yeah, I want this fragrance. I'm getting it for my husband for our anniversary. But when it comes down to versatility, no weather has made this fragrance run for the hills. It's worked perfectly. And once I finish this bottle, oh, absolutely getting another one. Go check it out. I know why y'all sleeping on this. Let me know if you have this in your collection. Let's go check out the next one. You trying to close that deal business-wise, or that beautiful lady that you've been trying to get on that first date. It doesn't matter what occasion. Most people would say, no, Rome, I'm not trusting you. This fragrance is definitely made for later part of the fall going into the winter. And I wouldn't disagree with you, except for 3 notes. And that fragrance I'm talking about is Lannosea, one of the newest fragrances from Boadicea the Victorious. No joke. This is one of the best fragrances they've come out in the last maybe 5 years. The reason why I say this fragrance is the one you want to wear when you're trying to seal the deal. And I said it because the unexpected, alluring aroma that this fragrance created. If you see the notes, you were like, no, that's gonna work. But the opening, creating this Coffret lemon, which is a sweet, sugared-like lemon note, mixed with a beautiful cognac. Those first two notes jumping out of this bottle onto your nose immediately is gonna put you into a trance. Not only you, the person that is smelling it. The confidence to me that this fragrance kind of creates is why I say this fragrance is one of those fragrances that seals the deal. Now, when I say it's versatile, I mean that because the lemon, the sweet lemon, the bergamot, the fresh bergamot, the orange blossom, and I would also add that sweet date note in the opening, those to me scream spring, summer vacation to me. Now, it might not be the best vacation to wear in a 90-degree weather, no, but I think if you're going somewhere where it's a constant 80 to 85 degrees, this fragrance will work perfectly. Trust me, it will. I've worn this fragrance in the summer. You've seen it on my list. But when we get to the fall and winter, of course, this is going to perform excellent. One of those fragrances I say, if you want a fragrance that you can wear on a first date, if you want a fragrance you've been trying your best to get that girl's attention, this is it. If you want a fragrance that's going to command attention, if you're that type of guy that's looking for a fragrance that makes a statement, this is it. There's nothing like this. Nothing like this. Trust me. Anytime, anywhere, any weather, this thing will outperform any other fragrance in that room. Lannosea by Boadicea the Victorious. Yeah, I got mine. You go get yours. So I've spoken about Rich as Crosses plenty of times. And I've told you guys that this is my signature fragrance and has been for at least a year now. Another fragrance that I really don't want to tell you guys about, but one of the most versatile fragrances, and I would say one of the showstoppers in my entire collection. Fresh in the opening, beautiful bergamot, a wonderful soft spice, a mixture of black pepper and saffron. It's almost like they mixed the two together to kind of battle with that beautiful bergamot freshness and opening. But right alongside of that, there's a beautiful tropical note of raspberry wrapped in this warm cashmere, which you would think would kind of clash with each other, but no. This is so hard for me to convey how beautiful it smells, but how versatile it is. Now I'll say this is not the best performer in the winter. It does work in the winter, but if it's like, I would say, below 20 degrees, it's not gonna perform as well as it does in the fall, summer, or spring. Those three, it's pretty much even. They all have their shine, but I can't tell you what works better. But when it comes down to the overall smell, the smell is just great. It just doesn't project as much in the winter. But if you want a fragrance that smells like a beautiful cashmere, raspberry, soft, spicy, citrus, woody fragrance, this is it. Nothing, when I say nothing, trust me, come to the front of the table. Nothing smells like this at all. Go get yourself a bottle. I'm just saying. All right, we got down to the number one fragrance that I consider to be the most versatile fragrance in my collection. It's not I'm gonna be honest, it's not the one that's, I would say, is like, oh wow, this is great, this is fantastic. No, it just does its job. It smells great, it does its job, and it's a compliment magnet. The number one fragrance that you can wear anywhere, any weather, anytime is Imperium by Electimus. Yep. I'm pretty sure you guys were not expecting that. Neither was I. But I had to give credit where credit is due. To me, simple in its composition, but it just creates something super special. A fresh bergamot in the opening does its job. It smells clean, it smells fresh with a slight bit of sweetness. Got a beautiful soft saffron. Once again, does its job. It smells warm, slightly floral, and also creates a nice warm spice behind it, but not too much in your face. There's hints of white florals in this. They're not too, I would say, prominent in the fragrance, but there is a unique rose note in this. But what will grab your attention with this fragrance and keep you coming back like it does to me? And when I say I don't care what weather, I don't care, once again, if it's 20 degrees, this thing will perform. I don't care if it's 95 degrees, it will perform and you will love every bit of it. But when you get to the dry down, there is a vanilla that will make you obsess with this fragrance. When I say obsessed, I have to wait for the vanilla to show up in this fragrance in the dry down that just drives me insane. Now, there is a kind of dry amber that adds a little bit of sweetness to the vanilla. But when I say the vanilla in this is where it's at, I mean, that's where it's at. And that's why this, to me, is the number one versatile fragrance in my collection. I enjoy all these fragrances, but if I'm looking for something, I'm saying, hey, what can I wear that I know I can rock is gonna do everything I'm looking for? This is it. No joke. That's why Imperium is the number one anytime, anywhere, any weather fragrance in my collection. Super versatile. What can I say? I enjoyed that. I think that we need those type of fragrances in the game. I think we need to kind of have enough fragrances that, I mean, most of us as niche collectors, we wear what we want when we want to wear them. But there are certain people that say, yo, I'm not comfortable wearing, you know, a citrus fragrance in the winter, or vice versa, a heavy oud fragrance in the dead of summer. Guys like us that are collectors, we think a little different. But I'm not speaking to you guys. I'm speaking to those who just started this. These right here, it doesn't matter what condition, it doesn't matter what environment, it doesn't matter what occasion, these will work. All right, that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, I'll link all these fragrances below. Whatever fragrance I have for a discount, I'll make sure you get that also. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. You know how this works. You help me out. I help you out. Before we go, I got to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. All glory goes to you. Nothing is possible without you. So before we leave, I wanted to talk to you guys about some verses, and particularly not just a verse, but the meaning behind a verse that speaks to me. It has been speaking to me for quite a while, and I'm learning how to be better at this. And that is loving your enemy. Loving someone that did you wrong. Loving someone that isn't what you would consider to be, I guess, a good representation of a good person. And that verse, I'll leave other verses on there also, but the verse that I want to read to you guys is from Matthew's. And this is Matthew's chapter 5, verse 43 to 48. But I'm only going to read to verse 46, I think. You can read the rest. I'll put it up here so you can see, but listen to this. You have heard that it is said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemy and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of the Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the enemy and the good. He sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? So, I'm gonna be straight up and real with you guys. That is a very hard thing for any person to do. If you think about this, I've been raised and brought up with the idea that if someone messes with you, bothers you, or you don't really mess with them in that way, avoid them. If they come in your space and they try to do something to you, you got to handle it. But that is the way of the flesh. That is the way of a short-sighted and immature person. If we're trying to move in the way of God, we have to be able to forgive. We have to be able to love. We have to be able to have grace for those who have done us wrong. Because if we do, if we show them love, we show them grace, and we even pray for them, even the ones who have done us wrong, at some point, the Holy Spirit will start to get in and pierce their heart. It will show them no matter how bad they treated us, we're still going to love on them. We're still going to be good to them. And just that idea, it reminds me of how God is patient with us. All the stuff we've done in our life. You know what you've done, I know what I've done. And he still loved us. He still gave us grace. He still continued to let us live on this earth, to be better, to do better. And that's what I say. Do that for the one you hate. Stop hating them. Love on them. Show them kindness. Move in a righteous way and bring them closer to God by your actions and your movements. Love is stronger than anything. And I'm trying my best to move in that way, even when I don't want to, because it's not about me. I'm doing it for God. All right, guys, that's what I want to say. I hope you guys read that verse, read the rest of it, let it resonate with you, because I love you, even though I don't know you. And I hope that you tell this to someone else. All right. Once again, I love y'all. Until next time, like I always say, it's okay if you want to smell like Rome. I'll check you guys out in the next video. Until then, God bless in Jesus' name. Peace.